Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here with my daily video, and today we are talking Book Nook. And Book Nook means we're going to talk about a book, and whose book do you think it is? My book, my book. It's here, it's coming to you soon. If you pre-ordered my holiday celebrations, it will be in your hands very, very soon. Depends on which warehouse it was shipping from to you. If you were on Amazon, they have many warehouses, so it just depends, you know, it varies. So there can be days and days of books showing up, and people are sharing pictures over at my community, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook, and Becky has shared the book over at her YouTube channel. So right here is Becky at her YouTube channel talking about it, so I want you to go over there and see her. So that's really fun. And on Friday, this coming Friday, Kimberly Jolly at the Fat Quarter Shop will be talking, and she has all the quilts. So she will be doing a trunk show on her live stream. So I am so excited about that. I'm going to be hanging out during that part of it. So now we have had a question, the royal we. You have asked me, are we going to do a sew-along? Of course we're going to do a sew-along. I just need to figure out exactly how I want to format it and when I want it to start. So it will not start soon. It will probably start in the fall. I just need to get that organized. It's on my list, and it will, when I get it figured out, which is after the delivery of this next book that I'm working on, because the books are done pretty much 1 year prior to publication. So I will be delivering the one that you will see about this time in 2022, but I have to get it finished. So I have to focus on that and not, get sidetracked on other things. But I will talk about a sew-along, of course, because that's the fun part about the books. And at the end of the month, on the 31st, we kick off 2 weeks of book tours where a whole group of my different friends, including Becky, are sharing something from the book. So they will have made a block, or they may have made a whole project, and they will talk about it. So I'll give you like a little sneak peek, and I'll send you over there to their website, and then there will be giveaways. There'll be a huge grand prize that will be at my publisher's blog, and then each designer for the 2 weeks will be also hosting a giveaway of a book. Yes, yes, yes. This is all super, super fun and exciting. I'm so happy to have you get your books in your hands. Okay, so that's our book nook for today. It's an important one, an important book nook. I want to show you some more of that dwell fabric because I forgot to bring the really cute pieces. I don't know what was with me yesterday. It's like, what? I didn't bring them. But there is a butterfly piece for the fabric line. And it is so gorgeous, done in several colors. I think that here it is on white with the peach, and then white with sort of silvery. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And I'll show you my favorite one last. And these are used in that pattern. So they only use one in the pattern or two, but I might have to use all of them. And then here's my favorite one, sort of on this. It's kind of a green. I think most people call this green. I tend to, because I came from the primitive design world, I think of it as old gold. So it's kind of like a greeny gold. So those are cool. Plus this, I really like this print too, which is also used in that pattern that has the panel. So I want to put more of the butterflies in that then it shows, because I like them so much, so very much. I don't know why I forgot to pick those up. They were on a separate pile. Anyways, that's the way it goes sometimes. So today is word of the year. My word of the year, do. My word of the year is do, and I made a decision to write about it every month. And I've made that decision for 13 years I've been doing this. And have I ever written every month? No. But I don't think ever I've written every month. But I think this year, in this May post, is the most I have done. This is 5 months I've written each month about the word. And I'm doing this with Allie Edwards. which is the project she's been doing for like 10 years. This is her 10th year. And I like it because this year she's got different artists. Different people are the focus, and they will talk about their process in the word and give you a theme. So last month it was the idea was to let it go and to let things just fall away that get nagging in your head, and letting it go could have been anything. You could have been trying to let go of old possessions. You could have been trying to let go of bad feelings. You could have just been like me, trying to let go of that monkey brain. That's what my brother and I call it, the monkey brain, where your brain just goes on and on and on, like holding on to something it should not hold on to anymore. Like a dog with a bone. It's like, nope, get rid of that. We don't need to be thinking those thoughts anymore. That's over with. Move on. So I worked on that this month. Whenever those thoughts just started rolling around in there, I would push them out or go think about something else. And so this coming month, which is May, the month of May now, is an interesting one because she wants us to look at how can I say this? Like the feelings behind doing a photo. When you take a photo, what are you thinking about? There's more often to the photo and why you decide to take that photo than people would ever know just by looking at it, because you as a photographer are probably not writing a little journal about it most of the time. Maybe you do that, but probably this month is the one to focus on that, so that when you are writing about something, taking a photo, then you'll be thinking about what are the feelings behind it. And and I do a lot of photos for business, and for business, there is no storyline behind every photo. If I take a picture of a flower, it's because I think the flower is beautiful, or I might be looking at a particular angle, or maybe there was dewdrops on it. I wanted to capture that, but it isn't like there's some deep story behind it. But there are certain photos that we all take that have a bit more meaning. And one of the things I've been thinking about since May 1st, when this came out, now it's the 10th, I've been thinking about how I have tried to take photos of the people in my life doing some of the things they like to do without them knowing and looking at the camera. You could call it an action shot, but really it's more like a feeling shot. And I'll show you a really good example. My dad is a photographer, not as a profession, but he has been an avid photographer my whole life, ever since I was born, and I'm the oldest child, so I think he got that camera, probably, I have to ask him if he got it when I was born or if he'd already been taking photos prior. And Greg is an avid photographer, and Greg started taking photos when he was like 13 years old. So photography in my family is a big thing, and I like to capture. Here's my dad. This is his book I put together for his birthday when he turned 80. So here he is taking a photo. And I wanted to put that on the back of his book. Here he is on the front. Here's the front. This is when we did the photo book for him. But I wanted to end it with this photo because it means a lot to me to see him really excited and interested in something and using his camera to capture that moment. And that's how I think of my dad. And he has a very good eye for style and design, and none of which does he do for his work. He's an engineer and does a lot of stuff for telecommunications. So, this is not what he did for a living. He's good at that too. So I've been using the journal that I got from Allie Edwards, and one of the things a couple of you wrote to me last month was because when I showed a picture, which you'll see at my website, a picture for this month, I've been taking the papers that I'm using in this journal from this book of papers. So this is what I bought to work with. One of the designers had used it, and I thought it was really pretty, and it has all different styles. You can just see on these 2 pages, 2 totally different styles of papers in here. And there are things like this print, like it's a little bit heavier paper, so I could pull that out. There are postcards in here. There's just all kinds of interesting stuff. Black and whites and stripes, and it's designed, and then this whole journal book came, but this one actually came with a journal, and there's, whoops, here's something fun. Let me see if I can get that page again. There's letters, so if I wanted to cut those out. So there is a huge variety of styles. There's some wrapping paper and a stripe. You know, I just think, there, I like that one. That would be a good base to write on. I wanted something a little bit different to play with that I'd not used before. So I will link you down below to that if you are interested in getting some papers and playing around. And while you're there, click the subscribe button and the little bell so that you can get my notice of my videos. Word of the year. Sometimes there's like a subword, and for me that subword has been hope. In March we did the hope quilt, and I wanted to show you that I have it back from Cindy and Dennis from the spa, and they have quilted it. And let me just pop this picture up here of the quilting. There are huge big daisies on it that are just so cool. They are a drop repeat, so you know they sort of interlock rather than just being side by side. They interweave, and that whole thing is covered with these huge giant daisies. What I found recently is that since we did that quilt in March, that I find the word hope popping up in all kinds of things. If words followed you around like that, they just, it's almost like when you buy a new car and you've never I've not seen these cars very much. As soon as you buy one, like every other car you see is the same one as you bought. It's like, that's why I am with hope right now. The word hope sort of is following me around. I'll be reading an article and they'll be talking about hope. I'll just see a whole article that's focused on some aspect of hope. And that's just, it's kind of neat. So it's sort of my underlying theme now for the year is to do, and I'm really focused on doing things, and then hope. So I have a Q&A. And this one is from Karen. And I think you should all chime in on this one. I think everybody should chime in here and over on my Facebook group and in the comments at my website for the my word of the year post. Because she wants to know two things, and it's all about cleaning. Or maybe there's more than two. How often do you clean your machine, she asks, and how extensive do you clean, and when do you change your needle, which can be thrown under cleaning. So there's three parts here. Let's just talk about the needle first. When do you change your needle? Often if I've pieced a lap quilt and then quilted the lap quilt myself, I will usually change the needle afterwards. I can generally hear a bit of a pop, pop, pop noise when, just this different sound of the needle when it started to get like a little burr, which just happens from use. Your needles do not last forever. They are most effective when they're sharp and haven't gotten any of these little burrs. So, a couple projects, maybe that's when you need to change your needle. If you have not changed your needle in a year and you sew regularly, get off this video and go change your needle because it really needs it. So how often do I clean the machine? I will always clean it after I finish quilting a quilt because the lint from the batting will definitely have gotten in there and all over the place. So, the batting will be in there. If I've not done any batting, done anything with batting, it's just been piecing or machine applique, then I probably will go a project or two. Everybody, you have to go on projects or sewing time. You can't go on days because you may not sew for 2 weeks if you're one of those people. So I can't tell you every 2 weeks because you haven't even sewed. Whereas somebody else might sew every single day and 2 weeks might be too long. They may have been quilted a whole quilt or 2 or 3 of them in 2 weeks. So you have to look at what you are working on, and if you've worked on a couple of projects, just open it up. Work on one project, open it up and look. How much is in there? Do you need to change it? What kind of thread are you using? Orifil, which I use, is a low lint cotton thread. So if you're using a lot of cotton thread, you're going to have lint, and some cotton threads produce more lint than others. Orifil produces very little lint for a cotton thread. That is what they focus on. Okay, and then how extensive do I clean the machine? Well, this is a very high-end machine, and so I don't have access to a lot of it. So I will do the same kind of cleaning, but maybe once a month I will get up in this tray in here and wipe down the pad, pull this tray up, whoops, turned it on, pull this tray up here and get, underneath and clean the tray under there. So maybe once a month I look at that. That can sort of be thought of as a time frame. All right, my friend, thank you for being here. I hope that your word of the year, if you have one, is going swimmingly. And if you have a subword, let me know, and tell everybody how often you clean. I love you. Mwah. See you online.